ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC7 News at Noon.
A Bangor man arrested after he allegedly fired a gun inside his apartment made his first court appearance yesterday. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Also, we have an update on a woman who was swept into the ocean at Thunderhole in Acadia National Park Saturday. And they still haven't started school in Sullivan yet, even though they were supposed to start yesterday. Coming up, we'll explain along with the rest of our stories. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. First, let's check in with meteorologist Conrad Sipinski. Conrad?
Thank you so much, Susan. And our first weather today is brought to you by Luigi and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. So today, expect a little bit more cloud cover in the area. As indicated here on the radar, those thicker clouds really starting to move in. You know what that means, folks. That means rain. Rain, go away, I know, but more rain is in the forecast. All this green indicated here on the radar will continue to push north and east, and finally will make it into our state a little bit later on today, and then especially into tonight, and once again into the early parts of tomorrow. And also, these dew points are on the higher end today. They will also be on the higher end tomorrow morning before finally starting to drop. So by Thursday morning and Friday, and right in time for the weekend, dew points will be in the 40s and 50s. So we'll feel a lot more comfortable outside. Today, though, bring out those umbrellas. We'll have some afternoon rain showers. Temperatures near average and hovering in the mid-70s. Tonight, though, really mild temperatures. We'll have temperatures in the mid-60s with some rain showers and even some thunderstorms that will be coming in the overnight hours. Tomorrow, though, we really clear up. We'll have partly cloudy skies, just a little bit of windy conditions with those temperatures warming up into the mid to upper 70s. But later on today, we'll see more cloud cover and those rain showers moving in with temperatures in the 70s. Susan?
Thank you, Conrad. A Bangor man arrested after he allegedly fired a gun inside his apartment during an argument made his first court appearance Monday afternoon. 35-year-old Fox Maloney is charged with reckless conduct, criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon, and disorderly conduct. Bangor police officers responded to 68 Jefferson Street for a report of two men arguing just after 2 a.m. Saturday. The caller reported hearing what sounded like a gunshot. When officers arrived, they found Maloney and his roommate had been arguing, and one had refused to leave the other's room. Maloney allegedly displayed a handgun and fired within the apartment. No one was injured. During the court proceedings Monday, lawyers said the bullet lodged in a wall. Maloney's bail has been set at $5,000. A woman sitting near Thunderhole in Acadia National Park was swept into the ocean Saturday afternoon. Officer in charge Jared Kusla of the United States Coast Guard says their unit in Southwest Harbor was quickly deployed and was able to rescue the woman approximately 300 feet offshore. She was transferred to EMS in Bar Harbor for first aid. No injuries were reported. More than 100,000 rail workers are threatening to go on strike. ABC's Derek Dennis reports on what's at stake and who's trying to intervene.
This morning, urgent talks in Washington to avoid a rail strike as unions representing engineers and conductors negotiate with the nation's biggest freight railroads. Passenger service, supply chains, jobs, and supporting industries could be crippled, costing the economy an estimated $2 billion per day. The deadline for a deal, 12:01 a.m. Friday. Some long-distance Amtrak service could be suspended as early as today.
Obviously, a railroad strike at this point in time would be extraordinarily detrimental to our economy and to the American people, and we want to avoid that.
Congressman Steny Hoyer among several lawmakers working to avert a strike over worker pay, health care, and other issues. There was a tentative deal which would have delivered workers a 24% raise, but two union holdouts released a statement accusing the railroads of using shippers, consumers, and the supply chain of our nation as pawns in an effort to get our unions to cave into their contract demands, and calling it corporate terrorism. President Biden said to be in direct talks to avoid a strike, which could mean ordering workers to stay on the job.
The president has certain authorities that he can exercise. The Congress can also pass legislation.
The threat of higher costs coming as inflation shows signs of easing. Today's report from the Labor Department is expected to show the inflation rate dropped to 8.1% in August, down from 8.5% in July. Consider this. Railroads carry 40% of the nation's long-haul shipments, so a railroad strike stops those goods literally in their tracks.
The new school in Sullivan was supposed to open on Monday, but the opening of the Charles M. Sumner Learning Campus has been delayed. In a letter to parents, Superintendent Michael Eastman said they received the certificate of occupancy inspection results, and there were a number of issues that had to be addressed before staff could even get into the building. He said the earliest that could happen was yesterday, and then teachers needed time to get classrooms set up. The new opening day is now slated for next Monday. Eastman said while the delay is beyond their control, he believes it will be well worth the wait. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, as the cost of lumber skyrockets around the world, scientists in Israel are using 3D technology to create wood. When we return, we'll explain.
I was just telling these guys about Jared Golden. He's a Marine who puts country ahead of politics. And then there's Bruce Poliquin. He's a multi-millionaire Wall Street banker who went to Washington, took all that money from the insurance industry, and voted to let them increase premiums. Worse, Poliquin said he wants to raise the retirement age. He's for them, not us. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Let your creativity run free at the Creative Arts Center, where we offer fun and affordable activities for all ages. Birthday parties, pottery wheel classes, painting lessons, or just for the fun of it. Get fired up for glazing projects as well as acrylics. We offer a wide selection of ceramic products for you to choose from, and we have thousands of pieces ready to paint. We are a Paragon kiln dealer and a Laguna Clay distributor. Stop by the Creative Arts Center today, located just off the Joshua Chamberlain Bridge in Brewer. The Creative Arts Center, where your only limitation is your imagination.
Nothing hits harder than this. Five-Finger Death Punch. Saturday, September 17th, Maine Savings Amphitheater, Bangor, Maine, with Megadeth. And special guests, The Who. And Fire from the Gods. On sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com. Five-Finger Death Punch. New single, Afterlife, out now.
General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine for more than 30 years with an extensive inventory, including mini track loaders with attachments, full-size track skid steer, track loader and backhoe, wheel loader with attachments, a 50-foot towable aerial lift, and a 45-foot self-propelled four-wheel drive lift. If you can't find it on our website, we can find it for you. Call for multi-day and weekend special rates.
Here, you can find monuments to veterans from many generations, except ours. Jared stepped up. Jared Golden joined the Marines after 9/11. He knew veterans needed to be recognized for their service. That's why in Congress, Jared fought so hard with veterans from both parties to build the Global War on Terrorism Memorial. This will be a place for all of us who served in Iraq and Afghanistan to heal, and for our families too.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because the memory of our fallen brothers and sisters must live on for generations to come.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Former Governor Paul LePage is accusing Governor Janet Mills of being dishonest about her support for the Sappi Mill and its workers. At a press conference Monday, LePage accused Mills of forcing the removal of the Shawmut Dam through regulatory means, calling it a backroom deal. He said it would endanger 750 jobs to reach 99% survival rate for fish passing the dam.
Her administration is openly plotting the removal of the dam, resulting in the subsequent closing of the Sappi Mill, an absolute economic disaster for the state of Maine.
A statement from Deputy Commissioner David Medore with the Maine Department of Marine Resources said in part, quote, DEP is required under the Clean Water Act to act on applications for water quality certifications within 1 year of their submission. In order to ensure any water quality certification for the Shawmut Hydroelectric Project includes the full range of information from the federal evaluation, including the most up-to-date science, the Maine DEP has drafted a denial without prejudice of Brookfield's October 18, 2021 water quality merits application. He goes on to say, quote, "A denial without prejudice would not change current operational requirements for the dam, nor would it require removal of the dam as asserted by some commenters. Brookfield would need to file a new WQC application with the department to continue with federal licensing process." Mills and LePage are facing each other in the race for Maine's governor. Gas prices in Maine fell 9 cents a gallon last week. According to Gas Buddy's survey of 1,200 stations around the state, the average price is now $3.76 a gallon. That's 54 cents a gallon lower than a month ago and 65 cents a gallon higher than a year ago. Now with Tuesday's business news, here's Leo Jonathan.
New federal numbers on rising inflation are due out today. Data company FactSet predicts around 8.1% in August compared to last year. The S&P gained 1.1% Monday. The Nasdaq finished up 1.3%. The Dow closed up 1.7%. Friday is the deadline for railroads and their workers' unions to make a deal to avoid a strike. Labor Secretary Marty Walsh joined the talks over the weekend. A railroad trade group says a strike would cost the economy $2 billion a day. And the former head of Twitter security, Peter Zatko, is headed to Capitol Hill today. He was fired earlier this year and became a whistleblower, warning about lax privacy controls and security flaws at the platform. He testifies before the Senate Judiciary Committee this afternoon. I'm Leo Jonathan with Tuesday's Business on ABC 7.
Scientists in Israel are using 3D technology to create wood. At the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, scientists have developed a wood-based paste that can be 3D printed. Once the paste dries up, it can be shaped. This type of printing can allow them to control how the wood will warp as it dries. The end result is set to be recyclable, sustainable, and have the qualities of actual trees. Scientists hope that in the future, this new technology will allow manufacturers to create more complicated wooden items using this technology. Coming up, Hassan University in Bangor hosted an exhibit yesterday on the warning signs of teens using drugs. We'll explain when we return. We'll be right back.
At iMart Express, you'll save on glasses for classes. For $79, get 2 pairs with kid-safe polycarbonate lenses and a free 1-year frame warranty. Don't let the bell ring before you get a chance to save. A $200 value, all for $79.
Suffering from sinus congestion, especially at night? Try Vicks Sinex. Unlike most sinus treatments, it provides instant relief that lasts up to 12 hours. Vicks Sinex contains a powerful decongestant that targets congestion at the source. It relieves nasal congestion and soothes sinus pressure by reducing swelling in the sinuses. For instant relief that lasts up to 12 hours, try Vicks Sinex. From Vicks, trusted relief for over 125 years.
It's easy to think that all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different how? You sell high commission investment products, right?
Nope, Fisher avoids them.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Never at Fisher Investments.
Okay, then you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No. We structure our fees so we do better when clients do better. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
iMart Express owns selection, price, and speed. Need single vision? Get 2 pairs for just $38.71. Progressives 2 for $76.92. Nobody beats us, guaranteed. iMart Express. Right glasses, right price, right now.
Jared Golden promised to watch out for us, even campaigned as a fighter against Biden's reckless spending that he knew would make inflation worse. But 3 days later, Jared Golden cast a deciding vote for Biden's newest wasteful spending bill that experts say will hike taxes by billions on those making under $200,000. Maine families are already struggling too much on Jared Golden's watch. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Bangor School Department began a new diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging collaborative with the University of Maine Monday. The first course of the partnership took place at 4 p.m. at the James F. Dowdy School. Prior to the class, representatives from UMaine's Department of Education and Human Development joined Bangor School Department officials to discuss the partnership and answer questions. Superintendent of Bangor Schools James Tager says the partnership will provide important training for educators in the Bangor School Department.
With the guidance of the University of Maine, the Bangor School Department is building a learning community of educators in primary through higher education. We look forward to combining their diverse practices, identities, and approaches to this work with the shared goal of building a caring, inclusive, and equity-driven educational experience for everyone in our schools.
Educators from each of Bangor's schools will take part in the 3 collaborative training courses. President Biden says his administration has a goal of ending cancer as we know it. President Biden made his remarks on Monday, the 60th anniversary of President Kennedy's famous moonshot speech. The chief executive delivered his address at the Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum in Boston. On September 12, 1962, President Kennedy pledged to have an American on the moon before the decade ended. In the same spirit, the president wants to see cancer death rates cut by at least half, touting new diagnostic tools that screen for multiple cancers to dramatically improve early detection.
I give you my word as a Biden, this cancer moonshot is one of the reasons why I ran for president. It's part of my unity agenda that I laid out in my State of the Union address to rally the American people to work together. Because we know this, cancer does not discriminate red and blue. It doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Beating cancer is something we can do together, and that's why I'm here today.
Hudson University in Bangor hosted an exhibit on possible warning signs that a teen could be using drugs. Matthew Duronsik has more on the story.
I'm here at the opioid overdose trial at Hudson University, and as you can see right behind me, students are learning about the early signs of opioid abuse. Members of the Hudson community had the opportunity to learn how to identify signs that someone could be suffering from substance abuse disorder. Students who took part found themselves in a replica of a teenager's bedroom where a Code 3 instructor showed possible spots and signs of hidden drugs. With Hudson University's Director of Experimental Learning, Dr. Peter McLean, saying that this year is going to outpace 2021, the university is looking to increase public awareness surrounding signs of drug use.
Statistically, again, the state has come out with new statistics showing that we're having more overdoses than ever. So prevention, education, anything we can do to help prevent people or help them get help from using opiates is really important. The death toll just keeps climbing.
According to Maine Drug Data Hub, Maine had a total of 641 fatal overdoses and 4,448 non-fatal overdoses in 2021. Code 3 Executive Director Joseph Abdallah says it's important for college students to know the dangers of buying drugs illegally.
A lot of the opioid counterfeit pills are targeted at college students because they are disguised now as Xanax and Adderall, very common medications taken by kids in college, and a lot of the counterfeit pills are disguised as those, and they are actually opiates.
Code 3 is a nonprofit organization that helps to create trust between police departments and the communities they serve. For junior pharmacy major Olivia Moody, it was the little details that took her by surprise.
We recognize like the needles and things like that we see in the pharmacy, but you don't see the things like the Ziploc bags, the top of the bags and things like that. Just little tiny signs that you wouldn't normally recognize.
She says knowing what to do when someone overdoses is a basic skill that everyone needs to understand and recognize.
It's just super important for us as pharmacy students to be able to like recognize, especially like opioid overdosing and things like that. It's stuff that we should be able to recognize in the pharmacy all the time. So just definitely like creating awareness for things.
Reporting from Bangor, Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
The Women's Military Memorial just outside of Arlington National Cemetery is getting ready to celebrate its silver anniversary. The monument is dedicated to women who have served our country, many of whom are from Maine. Jody Hersey has more.
We want women to share their stories with the world, with America, so that their stories are not forgotten. The service and sacrifice that they did for our country, for our freedom, is important to be recorded in history.
Thankfully, the Military Women's Memorial in Washington, D.C. has been the location of where thousands of women in uniform can register and record their years of service so that their contributions are never overlooked. Lieutenant Colonel Jolene Brown has been with the Maine Air National Guard for 22 years. She says the memorial is a great way to honor women in uniform.
And we don't serve to be recognized, but I think it's important that others do recognize the impact that women have in defense of the homeland and serving our country.
It takes just moments for female veterans to document their military service at womensmemorial.org.
It didn't take very long, and the time that it did take, I think, has significant value looking back for future generations.
No matter what you've done, if you've been in combat, not in combat, you've served stateside your whole career, all of your stories are important.
The 330-square-foot Military Women's Memorial will mark its 25th anniversary in October, and memorial organizers say they'd like to raise $25,000 to celebrate that special milestone. All the money raised will help maintain and redesign the memorial, as well as fund the memorial's educational programs to ensure even more women are recognized for their service. In Bangor, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC7 and Fox 22.
When we return, Conrad Sapinski has your 5-day forecast.
Did you know that it's possible to buy the wrong type of flooring for your home? Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or professional contractor, the experts at Don DeKalb Mainwood Floors are here to help, offering solid pro advice from choosing the right material and color to installation. Don DeKalb features the highest quality hardwood flooring sourced from lumber right here in Maine, from Maine traditions. Not only will you get a floor you'll love, you'll get a floor that will last. Don DeKalb Mainwood Floors, buy from the best, forget the rest.
Offensive and divisive. That's Paul LePage's legacy. But it's not just what he said as governor. It's what he did. LePage slashed funding for cancer screenings for women. He refused to invest in clean energy, kicked over 1,000 seniors off their prescription drug program, and even opposed funding to Meals on Wheels. So, if that's what Paul LePage did last time he was governor, we can't send him back. The top funder of A Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
The signs of summer are here. The sun's out for the evening commute. Whistles and clapping echo from the ball field. And a day at the lake brings the family together. Valley Home Services offers whole home comfort, serving northern Maine to Portland. Choose from Daikin, Fujitsu, or Mitsubishi heat pumps, and you'll be ready for whatever summer brings. Humid days or cool nights, come home to comfort with Valley Home Services. Home is our middle name.
If you are suffering hearing loss, take advantage of the new technology and let Wanda Creed, hearing aid specialist at Sulis Hearing Aid Center, introduce you to the all-new Evolve AI, Starkey's complete line of smartphone-connected hearing aids. Evolve AI is loaded with the most innovative technology and the clearest sound ever. And Evolve AI connects easily to Apple and Android devices, the Thrive Hearing Control app, and Siri to read text and emails for better hearing and connection. Call Wanda for an appointment at Sulis Hearing Aid Center, 263 State Street, Bangor.
The city of Bangor has hosted a number of car shows the last few weekends. That trend continued in Brewer on Sunday. Over 200 cars showed up at the Twin City Plaza on State Street Sunday for the 15th annual Brewer Days Car Show. Everything from Mustangs to Mopars, Camaros, and street rods attracted the attention of spectators. Trophies were handed out to first, second, and third place winners in each category. Organizer Teresa Mayberry says the Brewer Days Car Show takes the best aspects of other area car shows and rolls them into this single event.
First place trophies are one of a kind, scout made,
with parts and pieces of cars and wrenches and whatever.
It's a lot of work. There's, several years, some cars, to take something out of nothing and bring it all back. But in the end, it's really rewarding.
All proceeds from Sunday's car show benefit the Brewer Boy Scouts Troop 15 to help them pay for their activities and scouting camp. The Acadia National Park Advisory Commission says major construction projects are moving along quickly, and this year's visitation numbers are shaping up to be the second highest in the park's history. It was the Advisory Commission's first in-person meeting since February 2020, although some participated virtually. According to officials, major projects are moving along. They said the improvements to the Duck Brook Bridge, which rests between the Visitor Center and Route 233, are almost complete. Construction is expected to start in November on a project to replace the culverts on Cadillac Mountain Road. Officials said there could be intermittent closures to the road during that project. Bidding for the maintenance building improvement project closes Wednesday, and bids for the Schoodic wastewater rehabilitation project are evaluated in addition to updating progress on construction and improvement projects. Park Superintendent Kevin Snyder says the park continues to struggle with staffing due at least in part to a lack of housing. Snyder also reported that this year is shaping up to be the second busiest year for visitation in the park history, although official numbers are not in yet. Last year was the park's busiest year on record. The lower pedestrian bridge under the Willard Orr Bridge in Bangor is now closed. City officials say work began Monday to fix some problems engineers found while they were inspecting it.
They found the structural components were in decent shape, but the bridge deck was certainly, if you take a look at it, you can see it's all cracked and shattered. And then the bridge rail itself wasn't in great shape.
Terrio says depending on the price, the city might upgrade the rail to match the rail on the upper bridge. They hope to have the project wrapped up this fall, but he says there could be delays if they do decide to upgrade the rail. Now let's check your full forecast with Conrad Sapinski. Happy Tuesday, Conrad.
And our main weather today is brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. So let's get right into those temperatures, folks. Our average this time of year is supposed to be closer to 72 degrees, so it is starting to cool off slightly. We're in that type of season where things are starting to really cool down, but not today or tomorrow. We'll have well above average temperatures in the 70s, close to 80s. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll have a little bit cooler temperatures, really cooling down into the mid to upper 60s before finally starting to climb that ladder by Sunday. And then once again, by beginning of next week on Monday, temperatures will be slightly above average in the 70s. So enjoy the next couple of weeks with those 60s and 70s because winter is around the corner. And around the corner, speaking of that, we have some rain, folks. We have some thicker clouds coming in right now and rain right behind that. It is on that border of our state right now, really trying to squeeze in, and it will finally start to reach our area by later on today, the afternoon hours, continuing into the overnight hours before it finally starts to taper off. So by tomorrow, most of us will be in the clear, but we need to deal with that rain today, mostly tonight, I would say. So if you have any plans for tonight, bring an umbrella and definitely layer up. Wind speeds are not a big issue right now. We do have a wind speed closer to 7 miles per hour by Bar Harbor. Still nothing to really worry about by Bangor, coming in close to 0 miles. So it isn't looking too bad right now, but look what happens by the afternoon hours tomorrow. We'll have a little bit more breezy conditions in the area. Wind speeds close to 25 miles per hour. So hold your hats. It will be a little bit more windy by the afternoon hours tomorrow. Today, though, bring out those umbrellas. We will have some rain showers later on today. Temperatures in the mid-70s tonight. It will be mild outside, so close those windows and put on those ACs. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s with the rain showers and even some thunderstorms overnight. And our extended forecast outlook does show cooler weather back starting Thursday and Friday.
Thank you, Conrad. That's all for ABC 7 News at Noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6.
kicked out of home under a cloud.
How come your mother threw you out?
Because I was coming home late.